Good morning, Virginia. This is Virginia This Morning with Julie Bragg and Greg McQuaid.
Are you heading home for the holidays? It may be the first time you'll see some of your family members in months.
Well, you'll see if Father Time has affected your father or mother. Chris Antone says there is a time and a way to get involved in your loved ones' lives as they do age. Chris, come on out.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good.
Thanks for coming in,
Good to
Chris.
see you.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Please have a seat.
Thanks, guys.
This is such an important thing, and it can be so difficult.
It can be difficult, you know, and nobody wants to admit that they need help. Nobody wants to be a burden on their family either.
Right.
No matter what age you are, you know, if you're in your 20s or if you're in your 70s, you place a lot of value on privacy and independence.
How do you broach that subject if you've noticed some changes in your aging parents or aging grandparents, Chris?
Well, you know, Thanksgiving and Christmas are coming up. They're right around the corner.
Right.
We might see our family members for the first time in 6 months, a year even. So we might notice that things have changed, right? Maybe things are a little bit different. And regardless of whether that's due to illness or just simple aging, the reality is a majority of people don't know what to do or when to get more involved.
What's a good first step?
Well, a good first step is to look at some areas of concern. Driving might be one, right? Does your loved one, if they drive, pose an above average risk of being involved in an accident? You know, how are their reflexes or their vision or their ability to adjust to an unexpected situation? Meals and nutrition might be another area to look at. And at Thanksgiving, we're all going to have a big family. We're going to be around the table digging in.
Yeah, there's a lot.
But the day after Thanksgiving, right, when they're home alone, are they able to make a nutritious meal on their own? Are they able to manage grocery shopping? These are all areas that we need to look at. And it sounds obvious, right? But it's not as obvious when it's your loved one.
Tell us, Chris, how do you, I guess, come across that? I mean, how do you cross that bridge when you find out
Bring it up.
there are some problems, and how do you tell your mom or your dad?
Well, we just had, last week, we had a woman in her 40s, and she called us. She was making the decision to get more involved in her father's life. He was having trouble doing those everyday things that you and I take for granted, whether it be making meals or cleaning up the house. And she was noticing that he was a little inconsistent with the things he was saying. So, you know, she decided to bring that up with him, and they acknowledged that there was an area of concern. And she decided to call us and have a caregiver come into the home and help him out with those things. And it's not only going to make a big difference in his life, but it's also going to give her peace of mind to have that.
Another big area is medication and paying bills. I mean, those are things that can be really tough and really bad if ignored.
Yes, you got it right. Yeah, can your loved one manage their medications properly? It's a great thing to look at. It's a big area of concern. Managing a household can be difficult, right? I mean, what if you leave doors or windows unlocked, right? Or what if you leave appliances on, like the coffee maker or the stove? And I don't want to scare people, but if it becomes habitual, you're absolutely right. You really need to look and take that into account.
It can really be some trouble for caregivers. They oftentimes feel very alone, Chris, but there is help out there, right?
And there are caregiver support groups out there, absolutely, for caregivers. And really, you know, if you are a caregiver, typically you're the type of person that wants to help people, right? And I want everybody to know that in Richmond, there are trusted care services that can be provided anywhere a family needs them. And they really help seniors avoid isolation and also really get that companionship that they might need.
And maybe it's for a little bit of time during the day, or maybe it's something that's more, I don't know what the word that I'm looking for, more comprehensive.
Yeah, and it's really up to the family, right? Try to have this discussion with a loved one if you think that there may be one area of concern, right? Bring it up in a casual way. Try to make sure that the conversation reflects a partnership and that you're willing to work together on this. And then decide what schedule might work out for you. Like you said, it could be 3 days a week or it could be 7 days a week. But the goal is that you're going to help your loved one do those everyday things that they might have difficulty or might be struggling with. And it's also going to give you peace of mind.
Chris, we'll keep the eyes open during the holidays.
Great
Please
advice.
do.
Thank you very much for the advice.
Thanks for having me
Chris.
on, guys. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Good to meet you.